Nowadays we can see even well-educated people are not well-educated also. They are the most angry person, they are most the destructive persons. Even it's very astonishing to find many doctors, engineers, they are terrorists also. See, the basic question is, something you are learning here, the spiritual direction and whatever. So how to adopt in day-to-day life? To understand this, different dimensions of life we have to see. Let's say, for example, we start from the basic foundation or the base of all these things, how the learning process is happening. See, you learn many things. Like if you go to a music class, you learn music, dance class, you learn dance. In the same way, you are learning here the spiritual dimension of life, to say. Now, how this learning process is happening in you, that is the base. So in the end, throughout life, you will be learning many things. It's like the quality of the learning process itself. The first attention should go towards the base from which that learning process itself is happening. What is that base? And out of that base, whatever you learn, where it is like a compartment, if it is there, where it is aligning. The alignment compartment, to say, you learn science. After learning a science, you become a scientist. So that scientist, who is that scientist? Learning science only is not a parameter. Who is that scientist decides in what way he or she learnt. The point is the way of learning that need to be formed first in any education system, or else this education system is, whether you learn it in yoga shalas like this, or whether you learn it in some schools outside, or whatever, the way of learning is happening in yourself. That state of self, which is getting reformed or destructions, meaning whether a learning is happening or a unlearning is happening, whether for a new thing they are getting exposed, the whole process at the base, that need to be reformed first. Or else, nowadays we can see even well-educated people are not well-educated also. They are the most angry person, they are most the destructive persons. Even it's very astonishing to find many doctors, engineers, they are terrorists also. Let's say they can destroy, they can commit like themselves into pieces to kill other hundreds of people. So where stands the education and where stands the intention of the education? That's why every education has a good intention only. Content is same. And who is learning? There it makes the difference. You provide anything as a content, it will not make any difference. Any content is supplied, and who is learning that content as what? At the self level. Who is learning that content as what at the self level? Then again, as what? As what? Oh, whether it is just for my future, or just for my security of the finance state, or just to have some freedom in the world. Like that, what is propelling them being who they are to learn? See the layers. In just a learning process, a self is established. So learning is not only spiritual. Who is learning being what? That makes the difference, not the content makes the difference at this level. There, a content is very important. For example, you may be like most of you may not have heard the King Ashoka is a very good emperor. He is one of the emperor in a Indian context. He was ruling major part of India, and emperor means he is bigger than king. Once what happens, a war happens. In that war, a lot of killing happens. He was a very brave person. Brave means what at that time? How efficiently you can kill the other. That is the brave. When you are occupying a land, your braveness is counted by how efficiently you can kill. So that efficiency he had a lot. He was trained from childhood. Being an emperor means being efficient, being powerful, being strong, being trained to kill the other, and how organizedly, efficiently you can kill the other. That's how is emperor state. One of the major things. So he fights a war and he sees many people killed. Suddenly he drops. Meaning, hereafter I will not going to wage any war. He begins to preach Buddhism at the time, and he begins to preach peace, not to have any aggression. See the difference. And who did it? See, in the end, India has seen many emperors, many brave persons who continue to fight, who continue to extend their kingdom, being emperors, who continue to butcher people. Thousands of emperors happen. And why for Ashoka it happened in a different way. And who was Ashoka? The same enmity, the same cruelty, the same learning process, the same foundation. On one end, for other emperors or other persons, it's creating more vengeance, more angriness, more aggressiveness, which thought as efficiency. And whereas for the same another emperor, it happened reverse. That's why content gets assembled in a reverse way in different people. A cruelty assembles as peace, a peace assembles as cruelty, a science assembles as a development, a science assembles as destruction. We see both. People learn science, they become scientists. The same science, what they learn, one category of people, they want to destroy. Another category of people, they want to construct. Even nowadays in software also we can see. We have professional hackers. At the same time, professional program creators. Both are there. The same learning branch, always any content will take 50-50. That we should understand. There is nothing special being a spiritual or non-spiritual, going to your office or coming and attending a yoga session. There is no much difference. Today you may learn something like that being peace is very important. You go to your home, you see a partner getting triggered, angered, arguing. So now you come, oh, I went to India, Mysore, it was a so nice place and I am very peaceful, I was meditating. You are what the hell you are creating in my home. You are arguing, you are angry. See the learning what happened. You begin to argue on being angry or upset or getting separated, whatever. So the finest thing, the beautiful thing led to a ugly consequence. That's why it happens at the macro level also, meaning at the society level, at the religion level also. It may happen at the individual level also. That is why before jumping into adoption of these teachings in your day-to-day life or day-to-day situations, first jump to your own self where it is getting assembled to form who you are. Or else this danger of suffering, worrying, being not happy, being in argument, being in a wrong position in your emotions, this journey will continue. So in the end, whether it is a spirituality, whether it is a religion, whether it is a science, whether it is a social, whether it is psychology, every subject has an intention to keep you happy, to make you peace, to live you, to experience your full potentiality and to be who you are. Every subject has this intention. And thousands of people work for it, create a content and bring in front of you. That's why in the content, there is a 50-50 chance. The receiver of the content, who he is or she is, what is the state, in what chamber it get assembled, whether it is a learning process or an unlearning process, or it's a evolutionary process or a destructive process, there the first and foremost stability should happen. And whatever I teach or somebody else may teach, it may not be useful. It may be in a destructive way. That is why Jiddu Krishnamurti, have you heard of his name? JK. He was also very evolved philosophical person or a spiritual teacher to say. He dissolved in the end, in his last speech, he had more than millions of followers. It was a very big movement happening. In the final talk, he dissolved. No more coming together, because that's why normally no spiritual teachers in real sense tries to create a clan or to say to create a sect or to create a group or to create a kind of fanatic followers or to create an ideology. They don't work if they are really spiritual. In the end, they destruct and they go.